money solid here for Imperial. Another buy comes in. It does already feel like we're still going to get the same EG. We're seeing, how Imperial are playing. Small flubs by them, but overall 4-1. George hops the molly. With the pre-flash, no one's actually taking control of B, so he can skip a couple of steps here if he holds on to it. Always nice to be able to cheat map control like that. Spam's just off the mark here for Cello. Oh, there we go. A little bit of justice. Barely missed those, but the incendiary tag will tell him. They want to make EG feel like they haven't done enough there on the ramp. And I'm really wondering what Fallen learned watching the game yesterday. So I think definitely it's that, EG oftentimes do not commit to the first piece of map control they get, but they've been quite varied, not easily read just based on that fact alone. So I wonder if there are any specific nade tells that he found that EG don't know about yet. However, we can pay... Oh, what?
What's Walco?
Oh, they've used Walco as a lurk in the past, but this time 2 kills.
Yeah, not usually that successful in the frag department. Vinny loses his head to Rush. Off peak does stop bomb.
But I think they're giving this up. Wow, that's a
save.
Massive play from Walco.
He doesn't get to survive the round, but arguably wins it.
Easily.
Again, the lurk's always a consistent thing, but he usually just distracts players with smokes and flashes and his presence, and then eventually dies. Keeps them as busy as he can away from the B site. The fact he just picks up 2 kills, huge shining moment. Probably the best round we've seen from Walco on that A ramp lurk so far.
Yeah, he didn't have a good vertigo map last time. Could have definitely been nervous too, as we saw him get warm when it mattered. Like, I feel like if it was truly nervous, you wouldn't have got that 3K in the most pressured moment at the end of map 3, so. Ultra solid play here from EG. Oh. Oh. Just as they were turning back. I was wondering when he came back up the ramp, since there was no one there for so long. But that is the thing right there. They're punishing the re-clears, and the Imperial were trying to pretend like they were taking back A ramp control. Wanted to try to get over towards B side, but EG just playing well.
Just been a sea of utility here.
Oh, yeah.
The last 25 seconds is just nades popping constantly.
Walco dodges 90% of it and then eats 1 nade at the end, of course.
Look at the presence here, top middle for Imperial, and then check the radar for that A play.
That was something that was definitely underplayed by Furia, when in mid control, and the flanks that it opens up, and the really, really slow ones, especially through spawn, where Evil Genius's rounds are quite slow, so you can actually make use of those. But, oh, this is an explosion.
Yikes. Joda almost caught on the hot swap. Still picks up 2. And Cello comes around from Orange to make sure that they get no closer to that bomb site. Solid double kill coming out of Joda. 10-3 is his start at the moment. Smoke into the site, bolts. There's that lurk you're talking about.
Oh.
Junior doubles back, stops it. However, it's all on George. Picks up 1 in the 3, and Fallen's Deagle gets it done. Another nail biter that comes down to the final player, and yet another Imperial round win regardless.
Wow. Loving the emergent storylines. George is definitely a problem still. When we saw him play on Inferno and Mirage, he took over Mirage entirely. He's the best player on the map. Actually, maybe Junior is still better somehow, but Jota as well. He took some time to warm up, but he had a great map versus Complexity yesterday. And now he's just starting off hot. But look at George, though. He had a Galil right there. He had it locked up. 5 extra bullets.
You don't need to sell me on the Galil hype. It's even better in Source 2, by the way. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't buy a single one. I was just abusing the bug where if you just spam D at the end of the round, you get your gun back.
We really are different types of people like that. Like, if I knew about that bug, I'd be like, I could never use that. That's just...
That is immoral.
That is immoral. That's unfair. Mo's out here just on the E key.
Trying to figure out how to guarantee it every time.
Yeah.
Well, if no one used it, they wouldn't fix it, right? So...
It's true.
I call that my contribution.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're helpful.
That's my service.
5 on the board for Imperial. And Fallen's going to go check out middle. Feels like with that flank that gets caught, Bolt's getting to the top of ramp by Junior. I mean, that could have gone swimmingly for Bolts. That could have been the round end right then and there. So I feel like EG are going to be a bit more cautious about these mid flanks. Especially, again, like you said, the nature of their rounds being slower.
Thing was that could have been a B push flank, so they don't know if it was mid necessarily. But yeah, we're seeing that Imperial are trying to do what Furia didn't last time. But EG are keeping eyes on this. Let's see how this goes in the Mac 10. Okay, there it is. Last bit of awareness from Fallen.
Finny just playing back.
That's nicely done from Fallen.
George is already clambered over top of the wood wall, so tucked on the left side. His teammates leave him. Remember the consistency in those A ramp lurks from Walco. George, clean headshot, but there's no teammates to follow this up just yet. They are coming back because of that entry. Joda's not too far away, and teammates inbound. Fallen trying to get that off in. Molly lands on Joda. That gets him off his position while he's blind. Really good usage of the Molly and the flash. And George going above and beyond at the moment. Fallen almost dead. Here comes the flank. Yet once more, Walco's not able to hold it. We've got 3 players, down to just 2. Man advantage goes back to Imperial, but the health advantage not so. And Bolt buys time. Spam not far off. Rushes Tech9, pops up, dies. And now we're going to have to get George to go above and beyond. Somehow, someway, Imperial, with the finest of margin left on Fallen, are able to get this B site back under control.
Yeah, that really slipped out of their control. And the sad thing is for EG, all their utility was beautiful. It's just that the peaks were not warranted. Obviously, peeking from quad back there from Junior. That gave Fallen a chance. They had 2 mechanical failures to try and kill Fallen while he was blind. But they got this kill on quads and they knew they could take the site. Then they had a proper attack. And they had the Molly down on Jota who tried to stand in it and swing after a flash. But they also flashed with the attack. We saw how good they were at scaling into the B site versus Furia. They kept that into today. But, yeah, a couple of small moments where, well, they're holding a good angle. They don't hit the shot.
Back to a fast one. Cello's okay in this heated situation. Got support. Uh-oh. He'll take another little bit of risk stepping outwards. Second player's Cello.
That's smoke.
Tech9's a warning sign. Will keep eyes on it. Good thing he does. George decides to run the risk. Junior and Rush V4.
Unlikely, and it looks like done. Junior will go down, and when all the dust settles here, after this Eco Imperial up 7-2, doing just fine. Seeing some glimpses here that show EG could potentially win more rounds for sure, but in this more kind of even-faced battle, Imperial are just better right now. So, well, EG have their work cut out for them. Glad to see Vertigo.
Vertigo Mirage, Newbies Inferno Ancient.
Vertigo
Canals.
Once again. And we'll actually get a chance to see Nuke picked up next, but this is EG's pick.
Chlorine Mutiny.
Wow. Vinny getting pieced up here inside the B site once again. George wasn't even totally ready for it.
Shut him down, though. solo play here from Hext.
It's a lot of info, however. I think they know that B is open now.
Yes.
With that kill.
A lot of damage, however, the other way, right? And what do you prefer to have? All of your health?
What's
or
interesting is they're taking speed towards A site.
Walco gonna try to get closer. Ooh. I don't even know if that flash blinded Walco. I think he just straight up won the duel. Bogdan. Cello's got the op. Rush is already standing on the crane, and we've got 4 players here for EG.
Yes, and there is no plan to re-clear short, so we're looking for utility right now. They've got wall smokes ready. 1 single flash to scale. No mollies for jump up. And I think the boost is going to come in. It looks like they just want to pick first. They don't grab that. Oh, the Fallen chops him down to the knees.
Low health, right? Doesn't help. Hext gets cleaned up real quick, and Junior had his chance at the pick. When that op first jumped across, won't be able to take a second shot because Cello body bags him. George 1v4. Time's not on his side, but a nice clean headshot will give him a chance to save that AWP, so he thinks. Fallen through the tarp.
Damn, he's played long enough to know how far you can walk. He can sense ya. That's George down. Another really well-handled round. And, you know, Cello getting his kill on short consistently is massive. After Walco got that lurk round off, and he's kept his awareness about that at 100%. And even though Imperial didn't have a plan to re-clear the ramp, which is very, you know, in meta at all parts of the round basically at the moment, they had the boost up in the back of the site, and they were ready for something to come A. Tomorrow's matchup, the finals, will be the winner of this versus Pain, which is just going to be awesome no matter what.
Yeah, Payne's starting to become a little bit notorious at showdowns. Last season in 2022, denying Furia in Lisbon, where surely the Portugal crowd would have turned out.
Portugalese.
And now denying Washington from Liquid, where the North Americanese would have been excited to see their hometown.
They're actually called Washagillians.
Oh, Washagilladorpians. 1 for Vinny.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man, these pops into the B site, they do look good for EG.
Got 4 flashes, too.
But Fallen does a good job of staying alive behind green, working with the little that he is able to control. George, down to 38 health, places the Tech 9 point blank, spam through smoke, no contact. And Fallen, well, he's real damn good. Misses the last shot on Hex, but that'll get swarmed by the Cello. And Imperial rack up another.
Fallen said, Junior's the best opper in North America only because I haven't moved back.
Mm-hmm.
He has been doing fantastic as of recently. This is not a flash in the pan from Fallen.
It's just the whole question of can he do it outside of Brazil? And right now, yes, 15-2. Vintage Gabriel Toledo. What an amazing career.
Unparalleled, really.
Yeah. If CSGO ever has a Hall of Fame, there's no doubt on anybody's mind that he occupies a place in it. We should do that. We should start a Hall of Fame or something.
I'm going to do a top 20 CSGO players of all time list.
Ooh.
Yeah, because that was brought up, because I've been doing the top 20 every year.
How do I get involved?
But now this is
How does this include me?
This is going to be...
I'll be like
I
Bruce
want help.
Buffer.
I want help. I want help.
I'll Bruce Buffer ring, you know, I'll announce him for you. Little jump up to try and keep eyes on construction. Third player in the background. That's the one that elicits Fallen shot, because you know he would have just kept crawling out. But Hext has 1 health. Junior's on 5. It's a 4v4, but barely. They're going to try to get that walk back into the B site. Vinny's not here as he usually is. Joda comes back, could very well get caught off by George. Sure enough, flash finds its home. George catches Joda, and the CT's a little bit out of position there because of all the presence in middle. Vinny decides to throw himself forward, gets caught by the flash. Walco can't capitalize right away, but still gets his in the end. So those 2 players on such little health, not a problem. Walco and George coming through instead. And that may just extinguish the flames of Imperial's hot streak. A deep smoke to keep this one locked in. EG with a third, at least, on this T side.
They've had a ton of close successes trying to get into the B sites. You can see why they have such an affinity for it. They've got good utility. They're able to oftentimes take Vinny out if he's solo in the site. And once they do get the quad clear, I think they feel very good. They're super easy at clearing on default, and the B takes are just getting stronger every day. I think where Imperial have found success in stopping the attacks is keeping generator control. Every time they try to get behind that, that's normally where they've died. We've seen Fallen get multiple kills in the site crosses. He knows when to re-peak where they feel like they've stopped him from having that confidence. But here, yeah, once they get this default and quad kill, getting to this spot right here has always been the trouble for EG. But it's not too late to make a half of this, even though they would like more T rounds, of course. And here is a chance to at least break the money a little bit. Fallen has been relegated just to this Deagle. 4 rifles. Oh, no, sorry. He's actually got an op on the ground. Someone's dropped that for him. So, and there are a few $1,000s left on a couple of players, so maybe they scrounge together another buy. We'll see.
Fallen turned away for a second, but felt comfortable enough to just extend out. Rush was right here on the right side of Fallen's peak. Could have made contact as Fallen went deeper, but the timing works out to Imperial's favor. And they edge ever closer to their 10th.
16-2. What a map from Fallen. But EG, they play 4v5s in a dignified fashion. They squeeze it for every bit of time. They believe they can clutch at the end if things call for it. They don't simply start taking risks that you see teams take in 3v5 and things like that too early. Oh my god, the adjustment from Junior. Jota comes right underneath this scope. I don't think Junior could have seen anything. The pure audible reaction. And that makes it a 4v4 with 40 seconds.
Majority of EG starting to work back up that ramp. Fallen is over there. And it's going to take something to get him off this position. Will that something be Walco? Feels like sometimes EG don't really play short side when they approach the site. And now Fallen just switching out to the Desert Eagle as Bolts also connects with that mid lurk. So it's just these last two players. They try to come at Fallen a second time, and Rush meets the same fate as Walco. Fallen gives chase, trying to deny Junior this AWP save. The whole camp's coming for him. Run. Run, Peyton, run. He should be fine up here. Woo! Quick one.
It got scary. Fallen in control right there on short.
Look how hard he's thinking.
Yeah, 2 easy kills. How does he not run out of stamina, this guy?
Vegetables.
He's eating his greens. I thought you called him a vegetable. These old ass vegetables. Keep going.
No.
Timeout called. But it's a tour de force here by Fallen. I don't really know how they get back into it now. And it's not like he's just babysitting one site. He stopped them on the B takes. He's been pushing through mid to catch lurkers, and he's rotated to 8 in time. I want to say every round they needed him. So I don't know if EG will be able to come up with anything new at this part of the round. But maybe they'll have better success just beating him in a duel. That'll probably be on Junior.
Junior pounds shots through the wall. Walco finds Cello. Looks like Cello decided to take an initiative. Cost him.
Yeah, there's been this tacit understanding that Cello is going to play around the short, but he actually hasn't been that aggressive recently.
So Jota, he's happy to keep on fighting. double off the A1S.
And he's got a favorable smoke there to slow him down even more.
Definitely a retrievable situation here for EG, but again, short is always their problem, I feel. And Fallen, he'll get traded out by George immediately, who, because of his own team's molly, can't go out. He's just burning. But because of that, Bolts never suspects that George is going to be coming running through on fire. Nade, though, for George. Down to 9. Vinny with the double spray. Lines him up as they just want to exit. 22 health makes the difference. An op saved, and EG still stuck on 3.
Excellent from the B rotator here, or sorry, the B anchor in Vinny to come over and have to pull off a clutch, but fantastically done. And he's the one who put the nade pressure on to get the guy to jump out and then hit the beautiful spray transfer to grab both. Love the play from George, though, in between 2 mollies after he trades out Fallen, and then he throws 2 flashes in a row to make it seem like he's delaying for the mollies to come out, but doesn't simply wait for the molly to expire before aggressing. Takes a few extra points of damage for any little bit of, to make it seem like it's like unlikely the trade would swing out at that moment, and back turn, he actually makes the round possible.
Streamline flashbangs. See if they can take short for once. George kind of crazy, man, running through that molly, but
that was smart.
Never saw it.
It was really smart, and he used the flashes to do like a couple of things at once. And I just feel like he did such a good job of like seeing very far into that play. I think he always had the idea to run through the rest of that molly. He also had the flashes because he knew he had to delay in some way, and it served as a fake at the same time.
Here's Cello. Holding on jump up. George plants bomb. We've got a 5v5 retake to finalize this first 15. EG have had their moments. They've had their opportunities, but it has been Imperial with real resolve in some of these retakes and some of these close quarters B holds. This one seems like maybe it's asking too much, though. Final utility comes out of Imperial for the retake. Walko up close on sight falls to Vinny. We've got man advantage here for Imperial. Bomb. It's ticking pretty quick, and Fallen's just gonna try to stick it. No, not like this. Don't take it! He robs them of just one more measly round. It is 3 only for EG Black on this T side. Catch you in a second for their defense.
Ordinary. I mean, in terms of, if you look at a heat map, his map presence, whether it was AB or middle, on top of clutches, op shots, hit a rifle clip or 2, he was the problem.
So now a pistol really could spell disaster for Evil Geniuses. Oh, Hex can't make his Berettas look quite as good as Joe does. Remember, we had that nasty 3K from him last round down on ramp. Well, not meant to be this time. So an easy 13th queued up unless Junior and Rush come through with some miraculous moment. And as much as we can talk about Fallen's off impact for Imperial, we didn't get the Junior of yesterday for EG, who, even despite some of their more difficult no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, Cello, no, Cello. Okay. At that point, I'd take a bullet to the back of the head before a knife inside the spleen. Let it go. Let it go.
So is the spleen like a part, is that a real thing in your body?
Yeah. I don't really know where it is, though. I think it's like, it's back here somewhere.
Around the liver.
I think it's around the liver. It's like, yeah, it's like a small, where is the spleen? Where is the spleen?
I thought it was like Italian slang for...
Oh, it's a tiny little guy.
Oh, yeah?
It's a fist-size organ in the upper left side of your abdomen, next to your stomach and behind your ribs. Huh?
This is pretty big, no?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how big your hands are.
Well, for something I didn't know was in my body, it's pretty big.
Right. Oh, wait till you know about your brain.
That's pretty small.
2 fists. USPs. EG. Good luck. I wish you good luck. 2 kills, 3 kills. That ain't half bad, but it's not enough to stop Imperial's tear here on Vertigo.
Yeah, we're a bit far past the point that little economic damage means much. 14-3. round score almost impressive as Fallen's individual score. Actually, not nearly even somehow. I don't think he's died so far this half. Oh, yeah, he is 22-4. His rating is going to be 1.8, 1.9.
Wowza.
Wowza. 2? 2.0? 2.10? I'm just going to say all the numbers. We'll get there someday. Okay.
Guns up. Potentially for the only round of EG's CT side, but Hex is going to be fighting tooth and nail to make it more than one. His 2K is what keeps things even here on A. Imperial have wasted no time, no antics, no gimmicks, no guises to what they're up to.
They know that EG have a limited amount of utility they could have approached on a round like this, so fast up the A ramp. 2 trades mean this is a very T-sided affair suddenly. And now they're looking to punish the re-aggression. Let's see if the shoulder peek is good. No, misses the timing, but he doesn't die.
Comes back and is traded. Fallen still just sitting back. Bolts is dead. Fallen next. We've got a round on the board for EG.
Nicely done for Malco. Would have loved to see what Fallen work in that clutch. But they kept tabs on him. So no matter how this series goes, it's always good to have dignity in the map. Oh.
That was dramatic.
Well, yeah, it was super
It was a little
dramatic. I
dramatic.
wonder what the kill was that elicited that reaction. I never noticed the dice on the forklift.
What's your lucky number?
2.
Oh, 2. Interesting.
What about you?
5.
That's that one sucks.
No, it's a good one.
So what's the story with 5?
You got 5 fingers, you got 5 toes on each hand. Well,
Not Prius.
most of us, yeah. Poor guy. Rush falls away from this. Don't die to pistols, Rush. Also, I just like multiples of 5.
Okay.
Very easy to remember.
Okay. Does it actually have to do with fingers and toes and stuff? Or just like,
Well, you know, like
the
high
amount of
five.
times you see 5.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
five,
yeah.
five, five. It's a nice shape. It's 5 is one of those numbers that has straight lines and a nice rounded piece.
Right.
You know, it's
I get that.
visually stimulating.
I like that. So does 2.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think the
We're
straight
actually
part.
quite close in terms of the typography of those 2 numbers.
Yeah, that's very true. The straight part should be on top, though. I think that's the natural. The way of George, spamming away through smoke as Hex gives cover. Sorry, boys, pistol's not enough, Imperial. EG ain't no chumps. And he's gonna keep fighting though. His 15th.
Yeah.
He right up there with the pack. Not a slow day for him. He had some very instrumental success at that B site early. Some shutdown rounds that really, I think, painted the picture for Fallen's comfort before he got active on the op. You know, Vinny's the one who pushed the ball down the hill, and Fallen's the one that kept it rolling.
Vinny and Jota coming through early on their series today. Looking for finals, and looking for finals fast here. Our Imperial. And, you know, underscored by the fact that this is Evil Genius's map pick. Getting a touch sloppy here on the CT approaches. X dealing with him on short.
That nade.
Great pressure with the nade.
Excellent utility, but will it be enough? George going to take to the top of sandbags only to die to bolts at the distance. But damn, that utility was immense.
Now they've got to worry about a flank because they have 2 here both spotted. CTs have also actually just waited here towards A, not working on any kind of flank. This is the kind of round you want to fast forward about 30 seconds just because there's no incentive for Imperial to go A right now. The only question is if EG will split up now or later.
Maybe not at all. Got a Molotov to prevent the deep CT peek, and that's exactly where Rush comes in from. Dropping that bomb forces Jota to walk back. He'll waste no more time, though. Punches it in quick. Oh, that nade could have just won the... Oh, a second! Double dunk. And EG retake for a 6th with 2 players standing.
Nice. That pays off since they both stayed close to the site. No chance for Jota to attempt the 1v2.
I wonder how long that grenade was over there. A little cache of... Where'd you get that? How'd that get back there? Nobody died back there.
Oh, it was Rush throwing both of them?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think they just left it there for the retake at the beginning of the round.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Artillery barrage. But of course, spirit's still high here for Imperial. They've had openings and chances already and 2 rounds away. Plenty to play. And while we do have the George performance so far here on Vertigo, gonna need more than that. Is it bad though here towards ramp? Teammate right behind him. He gets the first, loses Hext. Ooh, Rush. Caught diving back behind sandbags. Now that's going to be 2 low players here on A for EG. They don't have to commit Imperial. They could just back up. These smokes make things weird, but they're going to keep up with that pressure. CT's come through with another couple kills. Junior's op on the rotate and Rush from inside smoke. So health advantage in the 2v2 belongs to EG. And now, just like last round, we get that pause where anything becomes possible.
It is like Groundhog Day here on the ramp again. But this time, they're going to assume EG try the same play and stick around. Rush this time instead of Junior. Or the reverse. Good amount of utility to try to retake, of course. B is sometimes fun to retake. In a 2v2, we'll see with the time on their side. I'd still rather be the T side probably, but you know, we're looking at 2 players that are basically half HP. Now, these smokes could actually play a big factor. So they're trying to do something interesting here, keeping 1 player ahead of it. No pressure in from heaven just yet. And HE maybe coming out late, but it goes
too far.
Yeah. And Jota has the re-smoke. Okay. All in an effort to simply delay for time.
Yeah. Gives up his forward position, playing behind green instead. Looks like Walco's going to throw his smoke out. That creates a pocket between the 2 that Walco could take over. Imperial very happy to just suddenly disperse, right? Considering how far in they were, they just go all the way back. Now trying to play that time. Walco finds a headshot. They're not on the defuse till now. Walco down to 2 seconds. Jota has to get him off, and he's just not on the money.
Wow, that's a nice retake, man.
Clean.
There was a lot of protocols right there. I mean, the retake smoke was great. The patience was really good. And they just gave Imperial no safe chance to take a fight as they approached. That was Junior back there with a flash to support Walco. But the flash was simply to get them back.
Are you surprised that Imperial pulled back as much as they did?
I think they felt the pressure. They did feel the pressure from the flash that came out. I think Jota doesn't... If Jota had more HP, I think if they both had more HP, I think they'd play closer to Generator for longer. But then what killed them was the retake smoke that just blocked off ramp a little bit. Very awkward to fight around.
Crazy we get 4 smokes in that 2v2 as well.
So I think if they swing Generator, you're probably going to take damage when you take that fight.
Felt like a sequence of smoke grenades created a sequence of repositions. And in that positioning battle, Imperial the pawns, EG the queens.
Trying to reach that dignified territory of around 10 rounds here for EG. Only got 1 AK to get through on this one. It's going to be a proper explosion here up into heaven. But it looks like EG are actually quite aware and ready for this. They rotate 2 into B. Now watching late from mid.
A little busy, though.
Yeah, the elevator molly, they don't respond accordingly to it, but they don't get through the heaven.
Picks up pace fast enough. Flash is great. I mean, man is still blind. Walco doesn't know how close he just came to dying if it wasn't for his teammate to save his life, but everybody here for Imperial gets completely stumped on the approach. That's 5 up for EG. 5
I think Fallen was like 24-3 at one point. Got him neutered here on this T side.
Careful though, Walco on his own as Rush rotates to the back of sight. And it did feel to me like throughout that series from Furia, they started to target Walco. If you were going to try to knock down the weakest link. He'll be left alone on B. But that's the beauty of, I think, Walco's playstyle. He's alone so often. For better or for worse. He does take on a lot of responsibility of map control and information. And when the stacks that we see from Evil Geniuses go well, that's because Walco is willing to be the guy with this burden. Goes back down those B stairs. George takes a bit of damage. A lot of players here. He's just tucking behind Xbox.
There's no pressure, though, you know, anywhere else. It feels like EG, it's a foregone conclusion in their heads that eventually this goes A. And Walco's going to take one last peek and the rotate's coming out. So, yeah, they got good info. Not really working the map here, Imperial. So 20 seconds. They're a little slow on this exec, too, honestly. But they're going to try it now.
It's going to get stacked up. We'll see if any individual can shine from either side. Nades well-timed towards top ramp. They just walk straight into the shooting gallery. Hex going to swing. Dies. 5 seconds, which means Rush can just stop that bomb in its tracks. And even though Walco, this whole entire round, hasn't seen a soul, he is the last remaining survivor, picks it up, and keeps EG Black's CT side rolling.
And can I ask you, you ever see EG try round like that on their T side?
No.
No, they've always done a good job of making sure to like clear pressure everywhere else. Yeah. So like, again, that's why I think we were praising them a lot versus Furia, and they did the same today. Yeah, they didn't have a great of a T side, but they put in the right steps. Yep. Whereas that was just such an obvious round to Evil Geniuses because they did such a good job of like making sure things were clear. And Imperial grouped up as 5 and got punished heavily for it. So that one's starting to look a little bit desperate now. Running out of time is obviously a sign of weakness. Ooh, the last thing you want is one lucky kill to go your way. George gets clipped.
Because it only takes 2 round wins, and Imperial close this out.
And this will be very telling now. 5v4 advantage. They've got their buy-in. However, when we look at who has utility, we've got 1 smoke on Cello and a full kill on Fallen. That's it. He's got bars of gold in his pocket. If he dies, they're likely going to get crushed. They don't have much counterplay to an op.
Feels like it has to be one concise swoop, one follow through with that wave of nades, or dry peek from Vinny. And he's not looking away from quad. He does not believe this is clear. He doesn't believe it one bit. Flash comes out. Walco doesn't move a muscle. And the fact there's no response off that flash. Oh, Walco. Substantial damage, no kills, both perfectly timed over the top of middle. And Junior doesn't clip him, concerned about the potential A play. There's nothing there. Just wants to get the hell out. Imperial with a 5v4 felt like they could confidently just fixate on one site. The added benefit of bolts. 2 kills for him in this one. Imperial will take 15.
Yeah, well played, but no one could answer back. To be honest, Imperial, they had to make plays like that. They didn't have enough nades for a full exec, so they had to look for individual fights, and a great spray from Vinny into good patience here, denying Walco from getting this 2K spray down, even though he did a lot of damage to both players. So many close moments where EG definitely could have allowed for potential for a retake or anything like that. And you can see the frustration because we're starting to get a retake in place, or sorry, a comeback in place. But now, they've got no money.
Not a lot left between them and the loss here on map 1. Rush gonna try to hold on for dear life. Can't get away from Fallen, who sure enough has been muted in the last few rounds. Beauty of a dig out of Walco to kick it off, but he just can't get the multi-kill. So it's gonna need to be Hexed and George.
Also, that was a nice lurk that they actually got off on that last round through heaven.
Molly goes far beyond.
Oh.
Yeah, the util goes behind Hexed. He slides out, catches Vinny. At least this one's been evened out. But EG still play in the dark.
Fallen. He was the carry throughout the first half. He's now started to collect some kills here in the second. Could be the full closer. The CTs will be left guessing a little bit, and the bomb is looking in the exact right location at the moment. Looks like Fallen is just a few seconds away from joining Cello and walking into an open site. We've got, if you want to count this as retake utility, a decoy for George, and maybe a gun that he can find along the way. I'm not even sure. But they would definitely rather it be A in this situation. So let's see if they can close it out.
Got the nades to take the site, that's for sure. No defenders here for EG. No flashes to even get them through it. Cello safely plants this bomb. Not gonna be grabbed either, but Hexed, he's just gonna get the quick kill. Straight up duel versus Cello. Is Fallen gonna take this from them? He's the reason this was so lopsided. And he gives up that angle. Hex shows a little skin. Both CTs closing this distance. Where the hell have they got off to? George plays on top of orange boxes. And a very swift, retake from EG.
Nicely done, Hexed.
Nicely done. They finished the job on that retake. And now just within 5 of OT.
That was actually, yeah, 2 key inside the B site. Hexed is a guy who does come up with creative solutions to tricky problems, and right there in the B site when they smoked behind him, he came up with a swing, stayed alive later into the round. Good job not dying to Fallen, and then they took both. They basically had a chance to kill him both ways here. They figured out where he was going to peek from, and then waited out the situation without getting off. Well, 10 to 15. Last round that Imperial won was a creative low buy. The delayed attack towards the B side after getting an opening kill on the ramp. Here it looks like decisions have not been made. But the B attack looks imminent. Going forward with the boost at the same time as the smoke lands. So the player's tied up over towards A. There it is.
Same engagement that won them their last round.
Got around the molly.
Then he sees the shadow. Walco backs up right into his own death. And Vinny's just gonna stay tucked in here. That's a quick movement from Rush, and that's exactly what opens up the timing in middle. It creates a pocket. Because Rush moves over, bolts, then gets a chance to strike with no resistance. Hex comes back around from elevator as Fallen plants bomb on A. Junior's been preoccupied this entire time, and Hex dies immediately after. Same engagement to kick it off, but this time with a layer from Imperial over towards that A site. Protocols in place, backup plans ready to go, and no desperate move needed because each of those kills goes smoothly the way of Imperial. So after an excellent, a dominating first half that made us think EG didn't have what it took to go toe-to-toe with Imperial, this one will get closed. They had to work for it those last few rounds, and unfortunately for Evil Geniuses, we did not get a junior top performance as we did every single map versus Furia. This one shifts the fate.
That were asked about it, Zach and Hex refused to give up any information. They said it was an interesting one, which I couldn't figure out whether or not that meant that EG played well or if Imperial played well. They both made it seem like they played badly.
They got secrets And I want in on said secrets. Rush Walco. CT side for EG, of course. 3 kills in already. We've got the CT setting themselves up nice. Fallen. He reacts fast enough to clap back on Hexed. Only 3. And Vinny, during all this wild engagement, has managed to get into ramp room.
The bomb was spotted when it could have gone ramp. So Fallen has actually created a meal for himself here. Having to go outside. And, well, that does mean there's maybe a little bit less attention on Vinny. Got a good clear right there. Kind of hard to rotate out of. Jordan will come in. This is nice, I think, from the CT side. But it buys a little time. And it looks like they're going to try to split towards upper. With Vinny, I'm assuming. Coming in late Squeaky would probably be the best way to clear this out, so... Got enough time to do so. One guy upstairs.
It's been real quiet, man, but it's going to have to be Vinny in the kill department, surely. 8 health on Fallen. Rush starts to back up a bit. Catches a glimpse of Vinny. As expected, Fallen dies easily. And so will Vinny, in fact. Evil geniuses pick up CT pistol.
It's a good read on where that would end up. There was a chance, of course, that Fallen crosses towards Secret, but he didn't feel comfortable crossing Secret because they had hell control, so instead taking it through Mini. Well, slightly obvious, at least gave him a good chance to have like a 2v1 for a second. They just couldn't find that duel. Good re-push here from George in that mini smoke to make this even easier. Good organization from EG all around. So a pistol round to kick things off for the defense.
Whoa. See ya. Vinny's dead real quick. Junior's got Berettas, man. That's brave. Mind you, they don't have armor, so at the end of the day, it's a good round to have said Berettas.
It's also got a person behind him to help out.
Boom! 4 kills off Berettas.
That one's for you, AZ-esque.
Like it's nothing.
You were asking, where's Junior? There he is.
God, these things are nasty, dude. Between Jodas 4K back on Vertigo and Junior's here now.
They are an amazingly strong pistol.
In those situations, I feel like they look almost broken. But then sometimes at longer ranges, it's like, they're still technically as good, but they just don't shine like that, man. Nothing competes to that. Like, you're telling me those Glocks ever had a chance? Nah.
Yeah, 5.7 absolutely gets 2, but like it's not necessarily getting 3. You have to be. It would have been a more insane clip. It's more like expected that the dualies can do that on a regular basis.
Junior fries bolts.
Late Squeaky 3v5 is always the best play to make. See if you get the double entry upstairs. If not, you have the vent drop possible. Don't alarm any rotations downstairs, so you can maybe use that for something quick. But then that also makes it somewhat obvious, so the CTs usually keep an eye on it or rotate preemptively. Either way, 5 up. And Rush taking the space back outside.
It's going to be Walco with the jiggle from the heaven. Any assistance here? No, not yet. The Hex comes flying up the ladder, but for now, they get that entry that they needed. There's that slow crawl behind them in lobby. Gonna have to be careful not to give that angle up to their flank. Hex, no, excuse me, it's George that swings out with the MP9 and dies. Hex picking up the FAMAS. Rush revealing himself on that flank. Fallen looking to get off the bomb site. Junior's just gonna patiently hold it. Beautiful here for EG. Very controlled state even after that bomb goes down.
Yeah, very much. They had that all locked up. They took the exact space they wanted back. So I think Zach said something like they're sort of like reminded them of Brazilian gameplay the way they took backspace on map control. I didn't really see that same parallel. I think that what defined that makes sense, but that's just something all good teams do. I think that something that defines Brazilian map control was re-aggressions on CT side specifically. But when it comes to T side as well for EG, they do a good job just on map control across the board. There was a good example.
George not shying away from quick little hut peek, but hello, as he falls back into the site, he's met by 2 Ts. And then, just as fast as they manage to get out lobby, they find themselves flying into the ramp room. So, quick redirection here. Potential for the B plant, perhaps. High potential, in fact. Nobody down here to stop it from Evil Geniuses. A win is a win in terms of bomb plants here for Fallen and Co. Can they miraculously hold off the retake?
This is not a good retake. You know, they don't have control side, they don't have decon, so they're just, it's not that they can't take it back, but they have to go so slowly. So a few things have to go right in terms of the kills right now.
Doesn't look like Imperial are going to give them anything yet.
They have no vent either. They're worried about everything.
Ooh, and a 1D rings out from the bomb sites. Close corner here from Joda. Door swung. No way. Unarmored. Oh, excuse me. No, they do pick up armor.
Yeah, just a half by.
It's the pistols that were really lackluster.
Yeah, that's bad rotations there from EG. You know, even if you're not going to have the other 3 out of 4 players ready for lower control, you don't give yourself time to deal with situations like that if you don't have control side or decon or vent to hold just for a second to make sure they can only take so much space. Ideally, they have entirety of control, and then you have like a really good chance you can smoke decon. But control side, there's the doors and the windows you got to worry about that the Ts can play in the post plant. And the vent as well, if anybody's in there, that can cause you problems. So, nice find from Imperial, but problem here for Evil Geniuses if they let lower be a problem again.
Really, really fast. Pop out Squeaky and insta-rotate back out ramp, right? I love that left-right hit. Love the fact Junior's that fast to drop Fallen, but he gets blinded, can't really escape fast enough, and Cello returns the favor. They've got Hex down in secret, Walco behind smokes. Definitely a couple bodies here to try and engage with Imperial. They flash over, make some sound. Hex on high alert. No gun out for the first one. Walco follows, misses his chance.
Ooh.
Gonna get punished for that. Cello takes him down. Man advantage, Imperial.
Yeah. And with Vinny inside of Squeaky, they have an escort back here into Mini. So George is spotting for this smartly, but Vinny finds his timing. And George had the right idea. But idea is only half of it. Actually, it's like a third. It's like idea, execution, and timing. It's probably the pie, I think. Timing is something you can't get away from, right? Like, there's never a perfect position where you can watch one choke point and guarantee the win. You've always got to watch between 2 things, or sometimes you have to. And in that spot, well, George had the right idea. Probably had the aim, but didn't have the time.
That kill as well. You know, Junior fumbling to get away.
I feel like, well, obviously, you know, he dies, but it looks like Walco probably should have let that one go after he alerted him. Nervous situation here for EG. Started off pretty good, but whenever I see a round like that where there's no rotations lower and a T team takes the lower site like that, I think that's going to get exploited again for sure. So that's what I think in the past, when we've casted games like this, I'm immediately like, start secret. Because that's like your first easiest band-aid to like, now you don't have to worry about making the smart rotations. You know if they're going to get secret and you have someone lower already. And the other thing is get vent control. Deny Squeaky really, really early on as well. We'll see how Fallen's going to think about it. I think something that's definitely important about Fallen is like he's not going to... I'd say Glaive is the kind of player to find a way to abuse... We're talking to Straw's era versus, you know, SK Luminosity era. Glaive was the kind of IGL to, if you found a problem, you would find a new way to exploit the same problem over and over and over again. You know, that 2017 Atlanta E-League Major VP final on Train T-side comeback. That was the perfect example of that. The SK Luminosity era with Fallen, I think it was still killing your best player, not being afraid of any part of the map, and kind of proving that you can crush you in every fight in your arena, wherever it was. Make your best player move, trick you into a rotation when you really won't believe it.
Rough spot here for EG, huh? Nice to see Junior lighting up the scoreboard early, though. A absent factor on Vertigo that was sorely missed compared to the Furia matchup, where, again, he finished all 3 maps on top of the board for EG. Cheeky Hexed.
No shame getting stabbed by that knife.
Stat track Ruby Karambit.
That's a pretty one.
Could have bought a house.
Or a Ferrari.
Oh, come on. Oh, he's tingling with anticipation. Comes up ladder, keeps it clean with the USP. Oh, hold up. George also got one. The Joda's over towards Secret. He's going to get pressed at this point. Fallen dies to rush. These pistols are actually working as they've dropped bomb over towards Mini. Cello disconnected here from Joda, but at least they're able to pick up kills apiece. Hex has disappeared in the meanwhile. 13 health, 1 bullet gets the job done. It's Cello and Joda to keep them in this with 4 of these kills versus pistols.
It was a little scary there. It was the atmospheric horror. It wasn't exactly alien isolation levels of fear, but...
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my trick, I can only play horror games on airplanes.
Because someone can save you.
It's a public place, but everybody's so involved in their own world that nobody can see me getting jump scared.
True, true.
Although I do feel for the people who sit next to me and presumably watch my screen.
They're out there. That's me, the screen. I watched the guy watching the movie 2 rows ahead of me.
Try to figure out the plot. Junior's got deep vision here through lobby, but remember, Vinny is just to his left. Ooh, Vinny is being held by George. Yeah, he finds him. All right. And Junior can still just sit on this angle. It's basically a beckoning call for somebody else from Imperial to come join lobby.
Oh, no.
But he gets smoked.
Oh, it's all right. Good, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, he just lost his angle because of his teammate's smoke. It was just a little too deep.
And Junior knows exactly when to be patient. He has shown that in the last couple days. Huge value out of that play.
Gorgeous little 5v3 here set up by EG, and then they throw Junior in the rafters so he can stay mobile. Go towards heaven, peek outside if needed.
Yeah, I think also doubling up on ramp and letting your ramp guy get lower is an option since they have someone back big garage and there's the vent drop attempt. They don't get through, and now they actually, I don't know if they cancel plans. What happens? Junior's still in heaven.
Bolts does get downstairs, could just go for the desperate plant. Money's money. And this is the only place that it's safe.
Yeah, no nade in hand. Plant will be respected.
But rushes right there with a headshot. So all things considered, EG keep 3 up. And a very active play, setting Junior up to succeed, right? Now that he's back at the top of the board, get him into the action. And in the thick of it, within Squeaky, even with that smoke disrupting him for a second, keeps it cool, gets his kill. And that's after George had the presence of mind to make sure he cleared that corner.
Yeah, they double push that properly. You know, I think Junior knows when he's being set up well and he has full trust in his teammates. He's just not flicking around, you know? He knows what he's set out to do in this specific pick, and he doesn't doubt it for a second. And even read the rotation coming back into lobby right there. He's just looking like a whole different guy. Feels like he's gotten a makeover. Been really fun to watch this arc for Junior.
but it's even better than a makeover because he's changed what's happening on the inside. And that's real change,
Like a
Launders.
transplant.
Yeah, yes. One of them spleen things we were talking about. If you got one, get two. You're not really rich until you're buying organs.
He's got a big heart and a new ass.
It's not just those stats getting a padding. I've already got CTs downstairs, so even with numbers here for Imperial, there is a response team in place. No SOS needed yet. Although George is burned off his initial setup, they're going to go fixate towards Decon. And we do very much have a pack of Imperial players here. Rumblings from evil geniuses, though. Putting Rush behind Silo. George, yeah, drops down into Dark. So insurance policies in place. Still a couple players up on A floor. Smoke goes out into the middle site. Rush reacts a little slow there, and Joda gets the better of him. Fallen's planting, tucked away from George, so at least he can isolate the fight out versus Joda. Fallen tries to chase, knowing now that George is pinned, and they can't really do anything about each other, but Cello's gonna use this as a chance to slide out. He's been called, but Cello still kills George. Maybe he wasn't spotted. Junior connects with the nade. Vinny holds off on the flank. Made a bit of sound, so the op looks up towards the skies and strikes Vinny down like lightning. Cello, quick trade, as yet again, he wastes no time getting closer to those players, right? Trying to get towards Dark to deal with George, going back and dealing with the op of Junior. I feel like Cello, very active moments to get himself to 12-4.
Still a couple problems here in the basement. And you know what? Even though Rush's spray and reaction's a little slow, that was a weird flash, wasn't it? I think it fell maybe in the water and didn't pop, but that would have caught Rush for sure. So maybe it was just meant to go this way. Really good attack through Decon and good trades overall. Good job dealing with George as well, who launched himself into quite an annoying position that they didn't have a molly for, letting him only get a single kill.
Excuse me, but do flashes pop if they fall in the water downstairs?
They do, but they don't blind you, I don't think.
Yeah, what? I have no idea about that interaction.
I wonder, I think it's because if a flash pops behind glass in general.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know what would happen in real life.
Interesting indeed.
What would happen in real life, actually? Do you know?
I don't know at all.
You could look through a glass and see a flashbang go off. Well, I'm sure the glass would break, but
Maybe not.
maybe not. Well, the next time we're in a nuclear facility, we can test it out.
Yeah, no problem. I got some time next week. Actually, I don't. We're going to Mexico to cast more NACS.
Uh-oh.
Get your guns out. Oh. Remember, there's an AK downstairs here on Hext.
Yeah, already a winning position, but okay, lots of information, right?
Yeah.
So they just molly the vent.
Good call. Keep one gun on it.
Now they just need cut control. Watch for a lobby rotate. This is a double flank here, but it gets shut down by Vinny. One picked off, however. And then they forget about the second.
That could be the moment here. It's Rush.
He's coming.
Vinny comes back, dies to the P250. Fallen. Whoa. Swapping out like that. Firing shots in both directions. Rush just trying to stay tucked, trying to keep this guy distracted. And he's going to take a dink to the face. Fallen sits on 9. It's going to have to be bolts. And he finds his peak perfectly. George hands on the AK stuck between the T's. And he can't finish off bolts, man. Pistols for the majority and still that close.
Yeah, another real scare. And we've seen some ingenuity here from EG. On the ecos, they're getting a lot out of these. Lots of pistol kills coming down. But not the round one. Imperial staying calm in the mid-round. Fallen was right. Every time he crossed the doorway and, Rush was delaying an extra second, he realized there was a mini threat coming in, but he did a good job of avoiding that. Hazard entirely.
Walko catches one. This feels like the most forward we've seen any kind of CT setup outside. But
Oh,
Vinny,
that's the entirety of a ramp right here. Rush.
and no B rotate.
Yeah, he rushed in transition. I think Imperial jump on this. They've seen what happens. Again, the rotations are quite slow from this point. And like, even if you were a fast rotator, like, okay, Walco gets downstairs, you're still, outside the site. So we'll see if they cover control. They do a good job. And that's almost the odds of the retake going down with that attempt.
Yeah, both doors get completely covered. That one was falling back on ramp. So nice protocols in place from Imperial. Feels like they sense that they have the better timing when Vinny gets that opening pick. Damn, and from 5v4 as well. EG, they won their outer duel.
I want to say Walco, if he doesn't try that, that's 4v4 with control side and decon, and they're really close. They tried a 4v4 in the past where they weren't even in those positions, so maybe if he doesn't jump on it, they have an opportunity to try to go for this, but 5v4 for Evil Geniuses into Imperial winning the round.
Now posting a 6th on this T side. Money is not great for EG, so these 2 saves will be quite valuable, but it is going to be lesser weapons. We saw that get close just 2 rounds ago with a single AK, so there's definitely legs on it, but...
Yeah, somewhat of a frustrating half for Rush, I think, with a few of these small opportunities. And obviously right there, I think he's planning to take it, but he's not perfectly comfortable in his spot as he's like looking into ramp and 2 guys peering back. No surprise they win that duel. Doesn't feel good.
Whoa, that's fast, man. Holy hell, Cello. But
Junior.
Again, look,
Whoa,
they
he's looking
tried
for an
to
ace.
swarm. They tried to just smash right through. Remember, 2 weapons saved and basically only 1 needed. 4 frags from Junior, his highlight round so far on Nuke.
Oh, that wasn't an ace? Oh, Top Hut got 1 kill? Oh, yeah, okay, my gosh. Well, let's watch that back. From a minute 42.
George 5-7 comes out.
Jesus. This is about 5 seconds. With the flash dodge on top of it. Beautiful play from Junior. Hectic protocols dropping into the site. They get the job done.
Axe just laughing again. And a contrast in Coach's expression.
I think there is always this temptation for Imperial to do an anti-eco fast. Like, get it out of the way. Well, sorry, that was a mixed buy for sure. There was 1 op, 1 rifle saved, and I think 3 pistols.
Yeah.
I think Imperial knew that, but they've gotten ecoed a few times in the past few months doing that.
It's just sketchy that obviously you try to skip protocols, you try to throw that out when...
Oh, was it? Wait, it wasn't ace? Is that what I just heard?
No, 4K.
Okay.
Who told you that?
Some magic man in my ear. Oh, not me.
I'm the only man you listen to, all right?
Oh.
Sorry, that got a little toxic.
Oh, no, I wanted to make you feel weird about that.
Okay. Nice reverse power trip. Well done. But point being, Imperial, they try to skip protocols, but what does it leave them in? This is a full investment. Joda on a Tech 9. It's like, damn, you really just offered over a momentum shift. Now, Predator, obviously, Junior with a crazy 4K, but still.
Amazing.
Still. Y'all be popping Hut real quick. Here comes another volley of util. This time CTs do scramble. And yet, it's still unsuccessful. For a second, it looked like they were going to get this, and there is a chance at the recovery. Junior then slides out, offers a helping hand to Hext. Fallen, up next, dead. Falls to Junior Saab.
Yeah, they're just fish food right there. So they just tried the delayed exec with better guns. Well, same guns versus better guns. Same result. Couldn't dislodge the Mustang player and fell victim to that. 3 upstairs. Again, not working much map control, just trying to go for it. There's always like a mixed bag of good rounds and bad rounds from Imperial from the T perspective. Like, I think at their strongest, they put a lot of skill points into mid rounds, right? 2v-X's, 3v3s, that kind of thing. The full execs, they don't work hard every single round. Sometimes they try to go quick.
Oh, they get 2 down secret. That's the bomb down there as well. 3 sets of eyes making sure nobody else goes over. There's a free bomb plant to be had. Go ahead. Grab it. Just walk out.
Yeah.
Press those buttons.
Wait, what?
How? He's in CT spawn.
What?
Bolts is behind red.
And it was a no-scope wallbang. Wait, what? I'm just looking at this mini-map and trying to figure out the geometry here, but it looks like...
How?
Someone get me a protractor. I don't think that's possible.
I want everybody on the case. Oscar, right now. Screw the rest of this round. The retake's gonna happen, right? Surely. Fallen's Deagle, just one additional. Joda's too far from the bomb. Vinny doesn't even have eyes on it. The only thing that matters is Junior's no-scope from CT spawn to red. Through a wall.
He must have been like by his box with that sliver angle, right? To the back of, and someone's defaulting on the opposite side of red.
No.
Yeah, it's right here, yeah. And then he unscopes and...
What?
Wait, what? We get the junior pog in the chat. So I guess he, officially he unscopes and is about to leave and just shoots. Okay. Well, 18-4.
Wow.
Oh, they're coming for him.
But Joda doesn't go for Vinny.
No, they don't even look.
Junior would have been just stood in the open.
Even took a shot right there. He's just got the God aura right now, but they cross lower fast.
Joda too afraid to take a swing at him.
Rush gets the telegram a little late, but he still manages the spray.
But then we get Vinny out from ramp again, looking for his impact.
There
Rush. Double kill as Bolts puts bomb down. A 4v2 here. EG kicking it up towards the tail end of this CT side because Junior 19-5. Why do I have a feeling that all of a sudden people could line up, that one spray here from Bolts could be a massacre? Ooh, Fallen catches Walco, closes the doors in front of him, creates a porthole, which gets a little too wide, and Hex sticks that defuse all the way through 5 seconds. Here comes Fallen trying to clear them out, close the door, survive. Oh, he's back behind it, and Fallen manages to get away.
Butthole has never been that small. Ever before.
I mean,
Look like Patrick Starr. Wow. That's the kind of round he wins normally. But a good retake anyways. 4v2. Should have never been that close. Kind of wasn't. 3v1 in the end. Okay, last round of the first half. 8-6 here. I'm going to say, whoever wins this is the better team. Okay, despite EG already being at 8, they both played pretty well so far this half. Oh, the shadow. Not Walco's friend.
Nice spray from George.
Oh my god.
More to be had as well. Bomb still needs to get picked up.
Uh-oh.
Smokes fade. Weird.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Not allowed.
It's junior time.
Access denied.
And that's 20.5.
That bomb's
And
just sitting in a sea of
They
smoke.
can go get it with the guys crossing from red, but they are just terrified. This man right here, finally, he misses.
But if he doesn't, that's Fallen dead. Bomb dropped again, so it's just
But the thing
desperate.
is, yeah, they take the bomb on the way back outside, right? So we know the one guy that crossed didn't get down secret. There might be, they thought there could be another one, but okay, this creates a lurk. Interesting rotation. I wonder if they're going for lobby control off of this slowly. Because if they stay on site, yeah, they leave heaven open. Oh, and now this mid round's getting really crazy.
The hell?
But I don't exactly love the adjustments so far with Rush coming in from lower. However, Junior finds his kill.
Yeah, it looks like he gets aggressive into lobby.
Oh, he does do it. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
Fallen then has to double back up.
Junior, man, he's been so smart.
Yikes. Fallen caught outside. Rush gonna rotate right to Vinny. Now he's gonna take a peek at A. Oh, clean headshot. Junior still though behind the blue box, is caught out in the open. Vent player comes up. Oh, time. 7 seconds. He goes for the fight. Now he can't get the plant. It's simply not there. He needs to rush the kill. He knows he's close, but up the ladder George goes. Snorts. He gets away. And just like that, a recovery from EG.
Round 2. Let's go for a rifle, I guess.
So we got one from Europe. So now I'm...
Shall we slay today? Today I shall rule! Lucas in alert. It's on.
With a waistcoat pop.
The greatest storyteller always had the perfect story whenever you needed to hear it. There were adventures that could stir the weariest soul, or even move you to tears. But surely, a storyteller so great must be just another story, right?
When everyone's an expert, it's hard to pick a winner at Aintree. But if you land on Paddy's Wonder Wheel bonus rounds, you qualify for a guaranteed cash prize. There'll be winners all over the country, like wherever this lady is.
Little Pitsy.
And here on the sofa. Yes. Here. And here. And, well, you get the point. It's a veritable racecourse full of winners. Paddy's Wonder Wheel bonus round. And on selected prize days, you're guaranteed to win a prize with Paddy's Wonder Wheel on Paddy Power Games.
You got a team? We got a family. You got an ego? We go to work. You coming for us? Hurry for free.
But they have
something else clock, yeah. Could be outside.
I'm gonna phase the smoke and
Yeah,
I'm
phase
just
it?
gonna push, yeah.
I'll see the outside.
Might be grief, but I'm doing it.
I think there may be group ramp.
Alright, Peyton.
Peyton, you're still in my eco.
I saw that.
Let's
Bro,
go.
I'm miffed right now. Not really, but...
Playing ramp, that's your round, you know? And their junior is stealing the show. Early on, he had those 4 kills, but look at him, 22 and 6.
Yeah.
Completely took over the map. That
That
was
is-
what Fallen did on Vertigo, but honestly, Junior's done that almost every single map so far. Last
Every
game,
map
we didn't
this
really get
event until Vertigo.
it. Yeah, until
of this
Vertigo.
series.
So 4 maps basically.
So he's back. You know, that's the
And his overall
junior.
consistency. It's nothing new. He's actually done this for some time now, so pretty amazing.
That's the junior that brought everybody back here for Evil Genius's game tonight after the upset just yesterday. So 22 and 6, a comfortable 3-round lead for EG to kick off this T side. Very doable. 6 rounds on a T side. Imperial are oh, George, nasty, but Bolts also fancies a set of Berettas. Joda from the heavens gonna rip away with his. And nobody's even looking upwards.
Wow, okay.
So Beretta's stocks all-time high.
Seriously, I mean, 2 Berettas on CT pistols just seems like a lock these days. Like, everybody is doing it, and everybody who's doing it is winning. Don't know how T-side has won a pistol in current year. Jota loves him. So, we'll see about that T-side here for Evil Geniuses. But for now, this is about Imperial evening up.
And he's got the cross covered. Vent dive, very doable.
And we see the rotations already a little bit faster.
Right? But long range ump shot. Rush just going for the bomb plant.
No HE on him.
Cello gets it. No
And then,
survivors.
yeah. 1 death here for Imperial? Or none?
None, I believe.
None, okay.
I think all 5 guys with fries.
It's an MMMR, massive money-making round.
Yeah, okay. So I was counting the M's. Peyton Jr. Johnson.
The Bostonian.
Bruising up the Brazilians. But they're close to tying this game at 9 apiece, and that CT side is what they've got ahead of them. So, you know, we did see Furia when they were able to beat Evil Geniuses on a map. It was them switching to their T side and not being able to stop it. Maybe we'll get some of that here from Imperial. Just get to their favored half. Stop the one-man show that has been Junior above all else. Attempted dunk back sight. Nobody home.
Those are the RPK nades.
Bolt sees that as a chance to push lobby.
He doesn't get the kill. Okay, the trade is instantaneous, and Vinny gets out through another exit.
So many players that were back throwing grenades that there's nobody else inside lobby. He had 3 T-spawn. 4 T-spawn.
And Imperial smartly pushing forward the SMGs to just give it a shot. They have spent all their money, but yeah, these are just the best advantages right here. So trophy room control. Could stunt Evil Geniuses, and Jota will look over top of the smoke. This is not a bad situation for Jota, but George wins it. Fallen finds a kill, 3v3. And with some material exchanged, it creates for an interesting situation because George gets the secret, but there's still, again, trophy control. However, trophy control might end up turning into a lower rotation. It depends where this bomb is going. Very hard to read the map right now. 2 players still upstairs. Okay, they're coming to him.
Oh, half-ass clear, though.
They didn't clear that properly.
Welko doesn't give it the full effort. Bomb picked back up by Junior. Fallen with Berettas because it's an op on his back.
Seconds, they have to go lower, so yeah. Honestly, it's not a bad situation here for Evil Geniuses. They've got George and Junior, J&J still alive. An op rotating down. Fallen, last thing he wants to do is have to retake with his gun, but they want to win the round.
Maul is back sight, but that's not where it's planted, nor where anybody holds. Smoke in the middle of the site. Fallen starting to figure this out. Junior back behind Dark. George plays the open floor. A good amount of damage, but it didn't look like he got that glimpse on Vinny. Turns it back. Here comes Vinny running down ramp. He takes one to the forehead, and Fallen doesn't want to sacrifice his op, so we got EG back with winning ways. A 10th. As Junior picks up a kill and runs that bomb down B.
Is the bomb planted closer, really close to Fallen?
Maybe close enough.
Yeah. I don't know what the damage is like from here, but we'll see. Oh, nothing. Wow. Been watching too much Inferno.
Well, nuclear facility, they need thick walls, you know, in case things go nuclear.
Yeah. Nice defense. Real active. They probably wouldn't expect 2 people to be close up like that, but ready for the ram clear. So 10-8 now after a rough spray from Jota. Junior taking advantage of that outside. That was a good play both ways, I think, you know. Some good ideas coming in from both Imperial and Evil Geniuses. This buy is slightly better in the rifle department for Imperial, but slightly less in terms of the utility. Secret Start pays off. That's a full kit of utility down.
Didn't see that one coming. Oh, God. George just slips in through Mini. Vinny Bolts never saw that coming, but bomb could be cut off. Fallen's on the angle. They throw util. Nicely done to just make sure. Good insurance policy. Exactly what they needed, right? You skip that step, maybe bomb gets dropped and CC swarm it, but man, they really didn't expect Mini.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad mistake because they started Secret. That guy in Secret does not have a vision outside, especially playing on the top stairs. So they know that like someone could run over Mini at any moment. They could even walk around Mini from outside. That wouldn't be spotted. And just because they killed one crossing doesn't mean that there isn't multiple lurks. So that's a big mistake. Now, the thing that they did right there to allow George to get off Mini is they put pressure on Squeaky. So the guys upstairs are throwing nades in response and spamming back through Mini, or spamming back through Squeaky just for a second. That's definitely by design. It's just that that is such an obvious thing to do these days that you got to be a little bit more ready than that. You see what I mean? They're throwing some default utility out, and the Bolt's starting to get worried about the vent drop and things like that. Too preoccupied.
Caught slipping.
So not a flying start on the CT side here for Imperial. But not a serious cause for alarm just yet. Still 11-8, and actually another buy somehow. Yikes.
Not the best, man. George.
Ugly approach, you know, coming.
Yeah. A couple times George has made Joda look pretty bad, honestly.
Yeah, because George not even like one bulleting him, but still just comfortably winning that duel.
When Joda jumped up on blue box, couldn't kill George behind red. This one now back from garage. I think if you want to play outer, you should play with an A4. That's my take.
Honestly, maybe you shouldn't be spraying at that range.
Also correct. Now they're going to pop B, and there's going to be nothing other than Cello to try and stop this. And if they pop when he's not ready, he's just a sitting duck.
I'm still waiting for some pieces to get in place. But he's got minimal support down here. So I know there's going to be someone. Cello will have to go above and beyond. And no one coming in from ramp gives him the best chance to at least, you know, maybe get a 2K. See what he can do. Now you typically come out of control. Oh, simultaneously with Decon. Rush wins his duel. That's clean. There's no retake going to take place at this point.
Damn, they don't even get to save that extra gun. Vinny caught, so EG, nice slow squeeze. This to me is reminiscent of the T side that we saw on Vertigo versus Furia. Because you asked me earlier, did we ever see EG do that when Imperial didn't play the starting steps of a round, but then still played the clock? We did see a lot of EG play the clock down to the final 10 seconds versus Furia.
Yes,
but they did it so meticulously, step by step, informed.
They never just like took map control and then just hit something right away. They haven't done that on any map, any of these series, and they've also maintained, you know, doing that and also making it unclear as to where they're going to go. They've never been obvious.
I think this is a really good example of what worked versus Furia. And Fallen cleared away, so it's just Bolts on the AK that gets saved in the end.
Yeah, that's a great hunt. This is Imperial's map pick. They're looking to do better than this. Or maybe they weren't ready for it. EG showing range on a few different maps now. The reason that EG are finding success is because they have a star carry in Junior, and they also have really good protocols and a very, very solid team around them. So just the one AK here on Bolts. Got one person watching lobby just to see if Imperial want to try to take it over. They go for lobby controls a lot, of course. And you don't want to get too many T's in here waiting, because sometimes you could just get run over.
Wowza.
First steps in place. At least feigning lower, so then you get some drops. That's the idea, is just pull them through the floor, as many as you can, and then just figure out where you want to go after that. And for the CTs, try to conceal as much of that information as possible. But with these pistols, you know, got to be worried about stacks. 40 seconds now. Just a bomb on secret steps.
Yeah, it must be. It's a little odd.
Oh, they go back and grab it.
It's on Junior's back.
All right, taking advantage of heaven. That's a very sound idea.
AK's trying to go up, though, to get ahead of it.
I'm sure this will be heard, if even slightly.
Doesn't actually get in.
There it is.
He'll stop the second. Bombkin still comes through Mini, and yeah, it doesn't stop the first guy, so Rush will very much be the insurance policy. Fallen point blank, though. Rush didn't hear it. Oh, bomb stop! Bomb stop! No round! Joda from the backside. Oh, that's soul crushing.
Wow, the
Fallen.
Fallen coming up the ladder second. They didn't expect it, and he had no other play to make, but he did it quietly and with a gap in the time, and Rush got preoccupied with helping them clear the site. And that was the risk. You know, when I said 40 seconds, I was like, the complexion of the map control looks good, but they are making it scary versus pistols who could be anywhere at any time. To have a play like this take place, and it happens, their worst nightmare, that's frustrating. And if Rush had simply held the ladder, they have the backside plant guaranteed.
And he was turning right before he dies. Half a second difference, and maybe he stops Fallen. Or just gives the bomb planter that extra bit of time to put it down. Nicely done from Fallen as well. Target priority there. Skipped the guy on vent, didn't bother with the other who could look. He went straight for that bomb planter. True. And we would see lesser men make that mistake, but not Fallen. Ooh, that's a lifeline for Imperial here. Money now in their back pocket. We've got to see more than something like that. It's a one-off round, no doubt, but one AK. One AK, all they had to set up their 9th round win. An inspiring type of round. That's like Rush getting a 2K spray through smoke on a fadeaway, and then Evil Geniuses winning every single round from that point forward.
Oh, this is huge. The pickoff from both Fallen and Cello.
God forbid if Imperial do something like that to EG.
Oh, no smoke there for Vinny playing opposite vent. And late support. So a nice find from Junior. What's their out, however? You know, Fallen, yeah, smartly should be worried about Heaven as maybe a point of attack, but past the 30-second mark once again. 3v4, they got to make something happen. I feel like this can only end upstairs, but they won't find an opportunity.
Fallen dive sight. Trying to hold them back from that mini entrance. Down goes Junior. And Fallen wallbang through the back sight.
Wow.
Fallen's starting to get into his groove.
He is, yeah.
And I think that should make EG nervous.
He's got a lot of good activity here on CT. Well, off the half buy. Fallen picking up the AK, getting in Heaven, stopping the bomb plant. EG losing a time into a slower round. 2 fast opening picks by Imperial. And then no chance at the end. And now I think the money's gone as well for EG. Almost certain we won't see an off at least here for Junior on this next attempt. No investment really. No investment at all. No flash. No P250s. Imperial back in the game. The first T side I think we've seen where it still looks good. I mean, they still, again, they're showing that they're a sound fundamental team, but they don't have the pace, I think, for the T side figured out exactly here. The chemistry in terms of how fast they can go. Been a little bit slow to it. be using this as a pseudo attack on the full Glock round to discuss next round, because this game isn't over for EG as well, even though it looks like Imperial, ooh, they're about to stage a comeback.
Glocks to ramp it is. Easy for Cello, triple headshot. Joda slides wide. Ooh, little Glock dink for Rush. Drops down into the M4, could very well get a second kill. Want to probably keep that economy low, but he won't be able to get it. Joda doesn't run away from the challenge. Imperial close it to a 1-round gap.
We've got a 1-round game. So Cello, when it came to complexity, we looked at Overpass. That's when he really started to light it up. He's been fantastic on ramp so far. Saw a few struggles out of Rush in the first half. Really confident on this angle. So what is going to be the play from EG? And we don't know if they're ever going to go forward with a full-on upper hit, but gotta have one per half. This one might be a little bit too obvious. We'll see what they feel like. Well, they're all in lobby. No plans to go back outside for the moment. Yeah, they're busting upstairs, but they eat their own flash.
Yeah, and Bolts right there to hold off on it. Cello may have missed a shot. Has to concede control of the ramp room. I also don't see anybody up above on Heaven.
Yeah, because Fallen started outside.
Yikes. Joda starts to come back. They know this is compromised. He's going to get split from both ends. At least takes down Hex right before George kills him. And then George takes it up to stop. We've got Bolt's back sight tucked down.
Bolt's in a really interesting spot because they're not in lobby anymore. So if he plays back at this box, he actually might be relatively safe.
Vinny's climbing on top of Hut. That could catch George off guard.
There's still time to think.
George gets into the fight and dies. Bomb in Heaven.
Oh, and they molly their self out of
Bomb in Heaven.
Yeah, Bomb in Heaven that's simply that's 46 seconds away.
If only he had died moving forward, then maybe it slides down. There is still a slight chance. But I mean, this is an around-the-world situation. Bolts is still locked in, gets the headshot, and finishes off the little left of Junior. So, Bolts locked behind that position for what felt like eternity. And with that bomb in Heaven, it felt like that was their hands tied. EG never able to get it back.
Yeah, if anything, this is a good demo for them. But there's a couple of threads loose now for EG. Stuff to work on a map that, of course, Imperial picked. They're very comfortable on and are showing far fewer problems now on CT side. Great round from Bolts. And a flub on the execution when they were trying to get outside of Squeaky with that flash.
Ooh, pistols here. A few of them armored.
A very impressive smoke grenade, so they don't even have Squeaky control at all.
So welcoming puck play. Vinny reacts nicely, though. 2 kills, Bolts assists, and this one comes to a grinding halt. Shredded piece by piece as EG think maybe they can smash outwards. We've got Imperial back in the lead. Off the back of a CT side comeback. 5 straight, they're on fire, and 3 away from locking in grand finals here at Showdown.
Yeah, they're making it look very real. And, okay, so if it's Imperial in the grand final, any team right now, the 3 teams, right? No Liquid and Pain, no Liquid and Furia as the 2 most likely teams to get out of the Showdown here. It's anybody's tournament at this point. Anybody who makes it to the grand finals absolutely has a chance. I think Pain are probably the favorites versus either of these teams, maybe slightly. Imperial probably thirsting at the chance for an opportunity to play against them. And EG may be happy to be here, but after taking out Furia, why not shoot for the stars at this point? So they'll actually call a first timeout in a game that is this close. But they made good use of the ecos and things like that to talk, so see what their idea is. They're sort of one-track minded about map control on T side, but you can see when they get a certain amount, no kill or not the right amount of space, they don't know how to just converge at the same time on this map as comfortably as they have on others.
This one's fast. Down the vent they'll go in an instant. Hex gets downstairs.
This is a nice way to take the edge off in the beginning of a round, even if you don't have a plan at the end. This is fast map control into lower. It does jog the rotations a touch. The 2-op setup gets a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, but Fallen. And Hext gets hit by Cello.
There's pressure on him to try to take a peek. Things are looking sketchy now for EG.
Right? Just getting that player downstairs is one thing, but Cello with that double op felt very confident that he could just wait for the contact. Ouch, Junior. Loses half his health to the silo drop. It's going to prime those rifles very nicely for Imperial on the hunt for 14. And Fallen versus Junior caught as he tries to just reposition. Junior's looking to go join the pack. Cello's op connects to Hex for the second time. And with the pack of players still that much further behind him, Cello has space to work. He slides down to control. Junior looking for this contact. Another op battle here from Junior. 28 to the clock. Cello has to clear, but Junior in with another critical kill. He's the only player to connect them so far for EG. Retake needed on B.
Wow, great patience there from Junior, and that's a round where, like, I mean, he doesn't have to go much farther. He has control side, so they can plant anywhere in the site comfortably. He doesn't need to get up to the window at all. Now, Cello could have peeked from the window to try to fight into the site. That was one option, but Junior, he read it correctly. Took it slowly downstairs. Got a nice timing on Fallen. We'll have to point that out as well. He was watching outside, and then he jumped over the railing to get out of there. But a little bit of fortune here in a real sea of losses as Imperial were on fire up until this point. 13 all, and a chance for them to renew themselves, try some new things. And it starts off with a Hex vent drop. It's complemented by the Junior play outside to kill Fallen. And even though Hex goes down, he brings some good info, fresh info to Junior as to what he has to be worried about as Cello rotates into control. Actually, a very brave angle to hold right when you're up against that wall. That's a rifle playing with you, but those are the kinds of shots that before you'd see Junior put himself in the situation on purpose.
Right.
And really like them.
What?
Oh, that's a fine.
Aye, Hext is just floating. And Joda's got a one-way. No, 5v3. And Joda doesn't even leave. He sticks around,
Wow.
Gets a second from the same position. Walco never sees it coming. Two incredibly flat situations here from Walco and Hext. Both down on 9 kills and 20 or more deaths. Right after Junior gets 2 critical kills to get EG back to a tied game. By a minute 20, it's a 2v5.
Two tactics go perfectly. Set Imperial up for the lead. Fallen has to do nothing but wait.
Just going to rely on Junior again. How much heavy lifting can he manage before the knees give out?
They're just thinking about the next round here. The money is just so desperate at this point. They're going to have to think about defending against match point. It sucks, but they got no kills off 3 players that crossed outside. I mean, this is a really forced hand. Trying to go for a 2v5 in this situation is something you might do in a pug, but in this situation, defending against tournament elimination with that Junior 28 and 13 op, going to want to give them the best chance to bring you something in the future. That means saving now. And Jota wasn't doing the best outside, but there's a great round from him.
Undeniably. On the smoke, just a little gimmick play, right?
Yeah.
One of the probably many tricks in his repertoire. And this one, I mean, what a weird way to open the round.
How did it even
like
find
Vinny goes looking for that, right? What demos are you watching, Benny?
Hex demos, I guess.
And also, like, why is Hex doing that? Couldn't he just be
the default.
standing on the ledge with a gun out, though? Like, you know, on ladder with knife or on the metal flooring with gun? Obviously, I don't know. Who runs in and clears that? Vinny. Apparently.
Very frugal with their timeouts are EG. It's their first or second official one. But it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Not for the Evil Geniuses' miracle run. Taking down Furia, no easy feat. An accomplishment no one can take away from them. Now we're team knifing. Rush gets sliced down to 92 out of spawn. Imperial 1 away from 15, trying to lock in a spot in the grand final versus Pain, an all-Brazilian matchup to qualify for Washington as Pain seek to go back-to-back showdown champions. Something that seems so impossible for everybody else. Cello over towards ramp, gives up his initial angle, throws a flash through the smoke.
Now, this is one avenue that's been explored, but not kind of full rifle, full attack on the ramp. And Cello's done well so far. See if this will be a repeat or not. Flash just above his head. Rotation is so fast here from Fallen. They need a molly on the turnpike. They're not going to take this fight just yet. Fallen will fall back, assuming it's an off clear maybe. So getting away from that, they'll take ramp now.
Damn, he would have just been given a chance to drop Hexed.
This is interesting.
Yikes.
I mean, they're clearly playing off a read right now because Fallen just leaves without full clearing.
Is that 2 missed nades? The flash doesn't go in the door and the smoke doesn't block off Hut. I haven't seen it yet, but also Hex is just hiding behind Orange Box. They get him back here. He didn't actually get his kill. Instead, now he's down to 10 health. I mean, Hex, that could have been a freebie. Fallen gets the wall bang. We've got the double Hut push. He drops down. Fallen robbing them. Almost a chance at that fourth, but the ops caught on. Cycle Bolts comes away from the vent drop and Imperial. A single kill. Now a single round away from finals.
Okay, that was an absolute jungle gym of a round from every single point. How did... What's Hex laughing? How did he get there? He was lurking through. I guess he just sat in that position. They came to reclear ramp late.
Yep.
Falling through the wide side of the box into the drop into the site. Another beautiful play from him. Attention back on Fallen as an upper who has been consistent through the series. Fantastic stuff. And now at the 10-yard line. It's not been a great match from Hex. Individually struggling here. But there have been other problems. Outclassed, I think, as a team so far. Even though they got this close, it feels like if they were a little bit more practiced on Nuke, like, you know, we could be talking, but you can see the problems from a mile away.
And if it wasn't for a lights out first half on Vertigo, that one could have been closer. If it wasn't for these super impactful CT rounds from Fallen's op, then this one could have been closer.
We're missing, you know, any kind of ramp hit. We're missing any kind of fearsome upper hit. We haven't seen that at all.
Yeah.
They have been pretty good about, you know, trying to take outside control, but even that previous round, they've been out-gimmicked by Jota. So on almost all fronts towards the end of the game, it's like, even though it's this close, Imperial have shown that their experience and expertise has been the difference maker. Now, I don't know. Back to ramp. Cello up in hand, no boost coming through.
The second op's been good as well.
Oh, little tag.
A leg shot on Hex to just make his life all the harder.
They do like to just make sure that he goes back. There haven't been any trophy pushes recently. But there's still more than enough members here upstairs. George takes some damage.
Trusty vent position. He's been impactful from here. Lots of targets coming out from Hut. There's still a live wire on this one. Fallen back up to heaven. We saw what he did when he swooped down into this site. Walco plants on the other side, and Hex is just staring upwards, holding this exact angle. They're gonna lean on that lobby wraparound. And it's low health for Walco and Hext. Junior doesn't have the op, but he could still have his impact. He could still very well push this one to round 30. Hell, maybe even OT. Flash out from vent. Fallen gets dinked. Doesn't make his life any easier. But these ops in a combat position start to close the distance. Hex gets away with his kill. Cello trying to round the bomb site. Pinched and popped. As sure enough, we go 30.
Yeah, a little redemption here for Hex to close this one out on the upstairs take. It's a staggered attack. They get in slowly, but they make it happen. And this one's a step better. They do take a tag when they're trying to approach the ramp, so Cello gets a little bit in, but outside of that, they get him downstairs, and then they get him into the vent. So they make that as difficult as possible. And then Junior, very important, on the lobby hold. Again, patient on the right angle. Stops the rifle from aggressing off that rotation. The 2-op retake's impossible. Imperial onto a second timeout. Themselves, both teams, very sparse about these. And it's a 30-round game. No telling what happens next. Still honestly feeling good about Imperial overall based on how the half has ended in these last few rounds. And even these like kind of clear situations are getting close, so, well, important that Hex turned up when he did. One up now here for Imperial. That might actually be a boon. We'll find out.
Junior's back on his, looking for that coveted 30th kill. Looking to make up for the slack left on Vertigo. George is going to look to wrap Mini. Hey, we've seen some setups on this A site fall victim to the Mini play. And this one's another one. Look, back behind Vent and sitting on Silo. All of a sudden, Bolts runs out. He's going to try to press close up to Squeaky. Player comes out. Double kill from Bolts. An immediate run up from Joda. And Rush? Has he heard this? Cello, he just dives out from heaven. He takes the fight straight to them. And there it is. Round 30 goes the way of Imperial. Pushed to the distance. But finally, a series that